We're going to begin this Tuesday morning with the growing frustration between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is over the war in Ukraine.
Right. So Mr. Trump now giving Vladimir Putin a deadline in Russia, 50 days to agree to a ceasefire to end its more than 3-year-long invasion of Ukraine or potentially face steep economic sanctions. After previously touting his good relationship with the Russian president, Trump now says he is fed up with the Russian counterpart, claiming that he is all talk, no results. This all comes after Mr. Trump announced the U.S. would be sending Ukraine Patriot air defense missiles to help it fend off attacks from Russia. NBC News correspondent Alice Barr joining us live from Washington this morning. A lot to cover, Alice. Good morning.
Good morning, Sam and Savannah. President Trump is really making a sharp reversal in his approach here. After long criticizing Ukraine's president, Russian President Putin is increasingly the target of his frustration and now of new promised action. As Russian attacks on Ukraine have only increased, so has President Trump's frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We want to see it end, and I'm disappointed in President Putin.
Sitting alongside NATO's Secretary General, President Trump announcing plans to rearm Ukraine with billions of dollars worth of weapons, including Patriot air defense systems made in the U.S. and sold to NATO allies in Europe to then hand over to Ukraine.
We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. We're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
The president also setting a 50-day deadline for Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face steep sanctions on trading partners who buy Russian oil and other exports in a move designed to isolate and cripple the Russian economy.
We're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple, and they'll be at 100%.
President Trump also endorsing a bipartisan Russian sanctions bill, though he said it may not be necessary. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanking President Trump for his support. The shifting posture a major change for a president who's long touted his relationship with Putin and promised to end the war his first day in office.
All talk and then missiles go into Kiev and kill 60 people. It's got to stop.
President Trump now backing words with weapons in a push to change the tide of a grinding war. And in domestic news, the Supreme Court handed the Trump administration another win, allowing mass layoffs at the Department of Education to move forward. A federal judge had ruled the White House needed approval from Congress to effectively dismantle the department, but the Supreme Court granted an emergency application blocking that lower order. Savannah and Sam.
Yeah, that could be a very consequential ruling. Alice, thank you.
Thanks, Alice. Well, NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos joins us now for more on the Supreme Court's decision here. Danny, good morning. So I want to read a little bit of something here. This is from liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor when she wrote this dissenting opinion. She says, when the executive publicly announces its intent to break the laws for the president and then executes on that promise, it is the judiciary's duty to check that lawlessness, not expedite it. Now, this is what's called a shadow docket case. So it means there were no arguments. There's no majority opinion. But we do have this. Walk us through this order and what we know from the justices.
Well, in a way, we don't know a whole lot because the majority opinion, you were just reading from the dissent, the majority opinion is really only a paragraph, which is an additional criticism of these decisions by the majority Supreme Court when they issue just a short, terse order without a lot of explanation. So you really get more information from the dissent. And this is becoming a recurring theme. The Trump administration interprets the court's role as not being able to infringe on decision-making that they see as solely within the province of the federal government. But for literally centuries now, it has been the role of the courts to tell the other branches of government, specifically the executive branch, when they do things unlawfully and to stop them. I mean, that's one of the core functions of the checks and balances. So really what we have here is the Trump administration taking a position that the courts can never intrude on the executive branch, which is sometimes true. It's just not always true.
Do we know how much any of the justices got into the appropriation aspect of this, Danny? The fact that it's Congress that has the power of the purse strings and yet you have the executive branch trying to dismantle the Department of Education. And then also, I would pivot to the fact that the coalition of groups filing this lawsuit against the administration called it devastating yesterday to public education. So what are their options at this point?
Yeah, I would say you just now said more words than the majority opinion had in their majority opinion.
I try to
because
be
all they
loquacious.
really did was recite the procedural history. But here's the other thing to consider is that, as is often the case in the Trump administration, right now we're not talking about final disposition. This is not an adjudication on the merits. In fact, what makes this so confusing is that this is essentially a pause of an earlier pause of an executive order. So it's really a stay of a stay of a stay. And all these courts are doing are deciding what is going to happen in the interim until this is actually adjudicated on the merits. So this isn't really even a final decision on the substantive issues. Instead, it's just a pause of a pause. And we're going to find out ultimately when this is decided on the merits. So maybe that is some consolation, at least for the dissent. It's only a temporary measure.
Danny, also, we've got this group of Democratic state attorneys general. They're now suing the Trump administration. This is for withholding $6 billion of funding from the Department of Education to get ready for the school year. What can you tell us about that suit? And for people who are just hearing us talk about, the words dismantling, withholding this funding for the Department of Education, is there anything parents should know right now?
Yeah, this is a similar theme in that the lawsuit alleges that the Trump administration is violating the law by not spending the money that is required in both regulations and money that Congress has appropriated. And the administration, on the other hand, is going to take the position, although this is a lawsuit that was just filed, they will certainly take the position that we're the executive branch. Those regulations are our regulations, and we can do with, if we're given this money, we can see where it gets spent. That might be a difficult argument to make because when Congress appropriates funds, presumably they have to be spent. The plaintiffs here are arguing, number one, the Administrative Procedure Act, which we hear about all the time in the Trump administration, essentially that the executive branch can't do something unless it shows its work. You remember in school, you couldn't just write the correct answer to the math problem. You had to show your work. The problem with these challenges is that it allows the administration to basically say, oh, well, we didn't do it right this time. It's basically back to the drawing board, and they might be able to do it again if they provide the appropriate justification. So these challenges are always an uphill battle for the plaintiffs, but we see it a lot in the Trump administration because of the speed at which executive orders and other decisions are pushed out into the ether.
Yeah, breakneck speed.
Yeah, for real. Danny Ceballos, thanks so much.
All right, we continue now with what is definitely going to be a busy day in Washington.
Yeah, that's right. Later on Capitol Hill, Mike Waltz will face a Senate confirmation hearing for his nomination as President Trump's ambassador to the UN. Notably, though, you might remember this is going to mark the first time that Waltz is going to take questions from Congress since he was ousted as National Security Advisor in May. You might remember he lost that role after he took responsibility for adding a journalist to this private signal chat among national security leaders of the Trump administration that shared sensitive military plans.
NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Noble's joining us now from Washington with more on this. Ryan, good morning. Let's start with what kind of questions Waltz is expected to be facing today.
This is going to be a grilling, Sam. Democrats in Congress feel that they have not gotten the entire story as it relates to that controversy over Signalgate, where Mike Waltz brought together a group of administration officials on an unsecured chat to talk about an attack that was going to take place in Yemen, and added a journalist as part of that chat. Waltz was essentially pushed out of the Trump administration's inner circle as national security advisor and then given this quote-unquote promotion to UN ambassador. In order to get the UN ambassador job, he's got to go through Senate confirmation, which requires this hearing. So Democrats really are expected to focus on this Signalgate and look for answers to questions that they feel they haven't gotten. Now, even though they're hoping for that, there have been other administration officials that have been before Congress that were on that chat who've been pressed upon this and just really have not given the Democrats the answers they're looking for. Waltz, though, considered to be a central player in all of that. So maybe things will be different during this hearing, which could be fiery later today.
Right. Do we know about how Waltz is preparing for something like this? I mean, it's a hearing to be the ambassador to the UN, but probably going to be questioned about Signalgate. What's going on with his prep?
Yeah, so he is going to have to come up with some sort of an explanation as to how this signal chat came together, whether or not he thought that it was secure and the reasons behind it. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is that Waltz is not going to be the only person that's going to be testifying in this hearing. There are two other nominees that are up for different posts in the administration who are also going to be taking questions from both Republicans and Democrats. So it's not as though all the fire will be trained on him the entire time. That will give him moments to take his breath and then move on to other topics. So this will be an interesting process for Waltz, and he's no doubt been through numerous sessions where he's practiced, been hammered with some of the toughest questions with the goal of trying to get through this unscathed so that he can ultimately be confirmed as UN ambassador.
Ryan, can you give us a temperature check on Capitol Hill in terms of how both parties are feeling about this nomination? You mentioned a second ago this was sort of an exit ramp for Waltz after what was a huge deal with Signalgate. How are both parties feeling about this nomination?
Well, there's no doubt that every Democrat is going to vote against it. The issue for Waltz is going to be whether or not he can get 51 Republicans to vote yes for his nomination. And as we've seen with every single Trump nominee, Republicans have not been willing to stand up and tell the president no. Now, there's no doubt that there are numerous Senate Republicans that are probably uncomfortable with putting Waltz in this position because of what happened in the Signalgate controversy. But at this point, we've seen no indication that there's enough Republicans that are willing to stand up and say, we are not going to vote yes on this nominee. So it is likely that Waltz will be the next UN ambassador.
Ryan, also something else we're watching, keeping an eye on today on the Hill. This is from the House Education and Workforce Committee on Anti-Semitism in Higher Education. This has been a big conversation over the last year. What more can you tell us we might see today?
Yeah, so this House committee is going to bring a group of leaders from different institutions. Georgetown, Cal Berkeley will be there, the chancellor of that university. And they're going to be facing very similar questions to what we saw from the leaders of Harvard, from Columbia, from Penn, where they're going to be questioned about the efforts that they're doing to try and curb anti-Semitism on their campus and what they're going to do to try and prevent this going forward. Now, this has been a very difficult experience for the other leaders of higher education that have been before this committee. Many of them have been pushed out of their jobs as a result of how they answered questions in this hearing. This is something that House Republicans in particular are very focused on, and we're going to see that on display here again today on Capitol Hill. The benefit that these administrators have is that they've seen this process play out before with their colleagues, so they should come with a bit more preparation in terms of what the questions that they could face. But make no mistake, House Republicans are not going to let them off the hook when it comes to this issue.
Ryan Noble's covering a lot of ground for us from D.C. today. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
We are learning new details this morning about that deadly fire at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts on Sunday. At least 9 people were killed and dozens more injured from the fire that caused elderly residents to need to be rescued out of second-story windows. Now, officials are trying to get to the bottom of how it started. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda has the latest.
Dramatic rescues at a senior living facility where a fire tore through late Sunday, killing 9 people between 61 and 86 years old.
Be advised, we have a victim on the 3rd floor.
Firefighters squeezing residents through windows and carrying them down ladders at the Gabriel House in Fall River, Massachusetts.
All the smoke from the hall were right in my face, and all that I could do was just stand there and choke.
Residents' desperation worsened by physical limitations. So many pulled from windows, relying on oxygen tanks, wheelchairs, and walkers. 71-year-old Lorraine Ferreira says when she opened her door, smoke engulfed her room. What was going through your mind when you realized you couldn't reach the exit?
That I was going to die, and I was breathing in the smoke, and I just knew I was not going to make it.
After screaming for help, a firefighter was able to break her second-floor bathroom window.
What would you want to say to that firefighter?
I'd want to say I love you, and you'll always be in my prayers. And thank you so much for saving my life.
Ambulance after ambulance transported around 30 people to local hospitals. One person, according to authorities, remains in critical condition.
Do you have any other medical units available? Negative.
There were more rescues out of this building last night than there have been in the 23 years that I've been a firefighter.
Investigators saying the cause of the fire does not appear to be suspicious, but some residents are raising concerns about the condition of the facility. The owner of Gabriel House did not respond to our request for comment. Fire officials say he is cooperating as the city's mayor promises a thorough investigation.
What was the staffing like at the facility? What were the fire detectors working like? What were the sprinklers like?
As a heartbroken community remembers the lives lost.
I'm just happy that I got to talk to him. Sad. Sorry. It's just sad.
And firefighters describing the complicated nature of these rescues. There were AC units blocking the largest windows and escape points. Also, the firefighter union saying that if they had been adequately staffed, more lives could have been saved. Wow. Back to you.
Oh, Emily, thank you. Just heartbreaking.
It sure is. Thousands of miles away in Arizona now, firefighters still struggling to try to gain control over 2 wildfires that are burning at the Grand Canyon that have forced right now hundreds of thousands of people to evacuate after destroying dozens of structures. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson is joining us now from the South Rim with the very latest. Steve, when we talked to you yesterday, thankfully, no fatalities, no injuries. Is that still the case? And what does it look like right now on the ground?
Yeah, thankfully that still holds, but a very, very active firefight. As you mentioned, these fires still burning out of control. 0% containment. The larger fire sort of burning a little bit outside of the park, now nearing 50,000 acres. The smaller but more dangerous fire, still 5,700 acres, destroyed 50 to 80 buildings there on the North Rim. I was in the South Rim last night, Sam. The smoke wafted over the entire canyon. It was raining down ash on people, and this is a fire that is burning on the other side of the canyon on the North Rim. Shows you just how hard they're fighting this fire and just how much smoke is billowing across the entirety of the Grand Canyon, guys.
And Steve, any idea how these fires started?
Yeah, we do know. Lightning strikes in both cases. There was some sort of discrepancy on how the fires were managed. Of course, managed originally by federal managers. They kind of let it burn a little bit, especially that smaller fire. Some discrepancy on whether or not that led to winds pushing it into those structures, and then the burning that we saw as you're looking at on screen. Guys.
It's stunning images. Steve, obviously, Grand Canyon is a national treasure, but also this whole ecosystem of jobs, right, and tourism. What are you hearing from the people that are impacted by the fire in all these different areas?
Yeah, you know, it's important to remember, Sam, that people live there, especially park officials, these park rangers that spend their lives essentially at these national parks, especially there on the North Rim. There were about 50 people that were evacuated essentially from their homes, had to leave everything behind. I spoke to park officials about what the loss is like. Here's what they told me.
Yeah, it has been a try for everyone. We had approximately 50 employees who were evacuated from the North Rim this last weekend, and the loss is devastating. We not only lost the Grand Canyon Lodge, but we lost a lot of our employee housing.
And of course, this is all happening during peak visiting season. That North Rim now shut down for the entirety of the rest of the season. Only about 10% of folks visit the North Rim. South Rim, of course, much more popular, but it still all feeds into the local economy, and it will take a hit from this. Guys?
We just heard mention there, and viewers might have been seeing pictures of this Grand Canyon Lodge that's burned down. We've heard a lot about this building, its significance, its history. For somebody who maybe hasn't seen it or maybe hasn't been to the Grand Canyon at all, just walk us through this special place and just how much of a loss this is.
Yeah, the before and after pictures, stunning. This structure built in the 1920s. It actually burned down in, I think, 1932, then rebuilt in that stone that you're seeing there. But it's incredibly significant, not only for its age, but it's sort of like the gateway to the north, right? It's the oasis of people that stay there. The North Rim, very remote. Again, only about 10% of the population visits that part of the park. But for people that do, it's the only lodging that's there. So it's very important, very vital for people that are passing through, and of course very historic for the entirety of the park system.
Steve, lastly, what type of conditions are you looking at today, right? I mean, we've been following the rain in Texas, making recovery efforts so much more difficult there. With the firefighting on both the South and North Rim, what are you seeing right now, and what are the predictions in terms of weather conditions?
Every day it's been 100+ degree heat. I think today we're going to get maybe a little bit more of a break, but we're still looking at another heat alert. This, of course, exacerbates the situation. Still strong winds, very dry conditions, really tough for a firefight, especially when you're talking about one in a 6-million-year-old canyon where you have clear vertical cliff faces. Very difficult to fight this fire. The weather not helping at all. Sam, Savannah.
All right, Steve, fantastic reporting there. By the way, Steve, how have evacuations been going just quickly? Has it been smooth getting people out of all these areas?
It's the one thing that we can count on to say, thankfully, nobody hurt, nobody injured, nobody killed. Evacuations, very smooth. People heeding the warnings and getting out when they need to get out. Savannah.
Steve, thank you so much. Great reporting.
In the meantime, here, intense rain overnight. There were geysers popping out of New York City subway stations, bringing some flash flooding to New York. Look at that. Look at the turnstiles. The water's almost up there, turning the subway into an underground river. Parts of Texas, by the way, as we mentioned, still under threat this morning from more heavy rain expected today.
We have Angie Lassman here on the latest with this forecast that is just wild across the country. Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. We've got some improvement across parts of the Northeast. Yes, we did receive really an incredible amount of rain in a very short period of time yesterday in New York City, breaking or at least getting to the secondary spot in the records for the hourly rainfall rates seen in New York City on a day. So we had over 2 inches of rain in just 1 hour period. No surprise. The subway systems, of course, can't take that. We've seen some improvements, though, across that region, but we've still got a couple of these flood alerts in place across parts of the mid-Atlantic. You'll notice across the South, specifically Texas, still dealing with some of those flood watches and flash flood warnings at this time. We're going to see some additional rain today, and we're specifically watching this cold front that's going to work across parts of the upper Midwest. Anywhere from that location back to the Rockies is where we'll see some of those stronger storms, potentially leaving us with some hail, some strong wind gusts, and maybe some isolated tornadoes, but also that potential for flash flooding will be there across that area. The system will move to the east tomorrow, and notice how we start to get some of parts of the Northeast back in on the action as far as rain is concerned. This will go for parts of the plains as well, stretching to the central plains, to the northern plains, with the potential, again, for that flood risk. So we've got another couple of days where we could see those impacts. We've also got an area that we're watching just off the coast of Florida, sitting just to the east. It's a low pressure right now, but it's fairly unorganized. We've got disorganized showers and thunderstorms associated with it, but we're going to watch over the next basically couple of days for that to develop and become a better organized system as we get into the later parts of this week, as it moves into a more favorable environment over parts of the Gulf of Mexico. Here's what that looks like between now and then. Either way, whether it develops later into the week or not, it's going to bring some heavy rain to parts of Texas here. Rather parts of Florida as we get into the afternoon hours today. Notice central to northern Florida is where the heaviest of that rain will be centered. And that leaves us with, again, that flash flooding possibility. By tomorrow, the system looks to, again, be better organized potentially. And maybe we'll be talking about an organized system by then. But either way, we've got those tropical rain bands that are going to work into parts of Alabama and Louisiana. So we're going to deal with the potential for flash flooding across that region as well. We'll see hourly rainfall rates likely anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. And by the time we get through Thursday, we could see, again, multiple inches of rain, specifically closer to the coast from anywhere from Louisiana back towards the west coast of Florida. So we'll watch for kind of a soggy forecast for folks in that region. Here's the area to watch today when it comes to the severe threat. Winds, hail, a couple of tornadoes possible, and it stretches from really the upper peninsula of Michigan back to parts of the plains, guys. It's a busy kind of forecast. We've also got, of course, the fire threat that we're watching out west as well.
My gosh.
It's hard to keep track of all this.
Hard to keep track, yeah.
By the way, we share a New York, South Florida connection.
Yes, we do.
When you get multiple inches of rain in either one of these places, the one commonality here is
Flooding.
it's just sheer chaos.
Yes.
Everywhere that you look.
Transportation becomes a nightmare, and that is exactly what we saw last night.
Those subway videos are crazy.
Really
I can't
crazy.
get over it.
I know.
Yeah.
I really can't either. All right. Thanks, Angie.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.